Hallo. Schaut gut aus. Also, erstmal willkommen. Welcome, everybody. We're going to record today, so just that you know, and I will edit it afterwards to make sure that nothing that shouldn't be on the tape is on the tape. Alrighty, and we'll put it on YouTube, so the whole thing will be visible to all the guys who are not here today. Alrighty. First question, Moodle. Can everybody access Moodle? Yes? No? You haven't tried? Who cannot access Moodle? Who has tried and cannot, except for... And you cannot log in or you cannot access the course? Just send me an email. If you have problems, just send me an email, because if you were not in the original list of students and you were coming on later, then you may not have access to it. So just send me an email if you have problems, okay? Second question, blog. Who started the blog? Okay, that's most of you. That's pretty good. For the rest of you, it would be a good idea to start pretty soon, because you know, the sooner you start, the easier it gets. Okay. Any questions that I can answer at this stage? Anything you like to know or that worries you? Basically, you write your own blog where you write your stuff, and you read other people's, and there's a comment section, and you comment on the comment section, and only the people in the class, right? Okay. Other questions? Is that? Yeah. So the idea is you write your blog, and I'll tell you what to write in your blog in just a moment. So you'll see. If you don't know what am I supposed to write, you know, it will be all coming clear in just a few moments. For now, we just want to get it started so it works and everything is fine. Okay. Okay. Then what I want to start is briefly. That doesn't work so well. Talk about what we were seeing last time. And we saw this thing about the teaching, that the teaching doesn't work as it's supposed to, and maybe we have something to change here. We saw that the social web is big. There is many things, many facets to the social web, and we want to learn about as many as possible in this course. We saw that the social web changes quickly, so we see different of these social networks coming and going. Currently, Facebook is quite popular, but in 3 or 4 years, that may change. So the only thing we know for certain about the social web, it's changing. Yeah? Okay, definition of terms. We were thinking of what do we think about the social web. And if we look at the Wikipedia, it says the social web is a set of social net relations that link people through the World Wide Web. Yeah? And so I have these two pictures. The first picture shows you the internet. It shows you machines. This is the connection. So each dot here is an IP address, and the lines are the connections between the machines. So here we see machines. We don't want to know about machines. Yeah, there's other classes. In this class, we want to learn about people. Yeah, and this one is an image of Facebook and people on Facebook. So every dot here is a person. Yeah, and the links connecting them, those are friendships. Yeah, so here the links are friendships between people. Yeah, okay. And so we had a couple of activities and did different things here. That was last time. Any questions on that thing from last time? Alrighty. I look very funny, I know, sorry. Today we want to learn a little bit about blogs and microblogs, but the other thing we're going to do today, we're going to cook. So what I got here, I got some spaghetti. So, oops, we're going to have spaghetti, and we're going to add marshmallows. So we're going to have spaghetti with marshmallows. So just that you know what to expect. Yeah. So we're going to have some fun, and we'll have some cooking time. Okay. So you know, just hold on, it'll be okay. But before we talk a little bit about blogs, I'm trying to go this way. Maybe that's better. And people, centuries ago, they had something called a diary, right? You had that under your pillow, and you kept on writing, you know, about your boyfriend and girlfriend and whatever. And it was personal, and only your mother was reading it, or, you know. And that's what we had. Now we have the blog, the web diary, and now not only your mother is reading the blog, but everybody. Yeah? So this is really cool. And so it's your personal journal published on the World Wide Web, consisting of entries, posts typically displayed in a chronological order, yeah, and where the recent posts appear first. Um, but blogs are more than just diaries, and everybody knows that. And we have personal blogs, which you can consider diaries, but we have corporate blogs where companies like Coca-Cola or whoever you have, they basically try to get the message out there, and they use blogs to communicate with the consumer, right? The other one, we have journalism blogs, and there's the citizen journalism that established itself, especially also in maybe totalitarian countries, but there's many blogs out there which are basically like newspapers, yeah, that you read like newspapers. I'm sure you know one or two. And even I learned that our chancellor, Mrs. Merkel, she has a blog, a video blog. Anybody watched her blog? No, you should. I will do that. That will be an exercise. You have to watch her blog. Alrighty. So I thought that was pretty cool. So blogs do not only have to be text messages, but they could also be, video or audio blogs. Right? Alrighty. We have a little activity which we're going to do in a moment. Basically, I want you to take a look at a couple of these blogs here, and some of them are more like technical, some are more politics, different kind of blogs, and naturally also some are personal blogs. Some people even make a living of blogging. Yeah, there are people like you and me, and they make a couple of $1,000s just blogging, right? And through advertisement, it works for advertisement. So if you're a good blogger, and maybe one or two of you will become good bloggers after this class, you can make a living of blogging, right? You just have to have enough followers. There's also special search engines. One is, for example, Technorati, and that searches the social web for whatever, whatever you search. Instead of Google looking for the whole web, Technorati just looks at these blogs. Then we have something called microblogs, and the most famous microblog is Twitter. And it started basically as a texting service, as an SMS service, so that you could use it from your mobile device. And that's where this 140 character limitation comes. Yeah? In your blog, you can write as much as you want. But in a microblog, you can only write short messages. Yeah? And so the advantage is we, the other guys, don't have to read so much. Yeah? It's much easier to read. Has turned out that they're actually quite difficult to read because they got all these acronyms and short forms. Has anybody used Twitter actively? Yeah, you use it? Yeah. And I mean, sometimes I cannot read what they say. Everything is shortened to a degree where you need to understand that special jargon that they use. But it's possible. And that's microblogging. And it's more of a broadcast medium where, you send messages. Well, you can do the similar things with Facebook, sure. But the nice thing about these microblogs is that they're usually connected to a mobile device. Yeah. So they make much more sense when you have a mobile device with a small screen and limited bandwidth, yeah, and it's a very easy way to communicate with that. And then if you do have other information, let's say like images or videos, and you want to send those, then you can add them as links in your tweet and do that. Now you've probably heard about tweets and retweets and followers and whatever have we. Anybody can explain to us what that is? What is a tweet? A tweet is like the blog where you just say something, right? And what is the retweet? What does that do? Yeah? So you basically answer to a given tweet. And yeah? Reposting a tweet. Okay. So basically you find a tweet is cool, and then you say, hey, so basically you're following somebody, and somebody else is following you, but they're not following this tweet, but this way they get to see the original tweet. So I guess this is the idea behind retweeting. And then followers, those are basically the guy that follow whatever you say, right? Then we have usually it's common that followers follow other followers, except you're a very famous person, yeah? So if you're a very famous person, you're not following all your followers. And usually Twitter has the limitations where, you can't have many more followers when you are following people, and there's all kinds of funny rules. Anyway, but this is about microblogs, and the main reason why they exist is mobile devices, yeah? Then we have this thing called a podcast. Ever anybody listen to podcasts? Yeah? What kind of podcasts are you listening to? Uh-huh. A book club, or where they have book reviews. Cool. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, okay. Wonderful. And that seems the iTunes, iPod, iPad is a major place where you find tons and tons of podcasts. And like my son, he has all these podcasts that he listens to. They're basically TV shows for children, right? But there's lots of educational stuff, all kinds of information there are in terms of podcasts. But we're going to talk about podcasts a little later again. But in a sense, there's people who produce podcasts every day or every week. They produce one podcast, and people listen to them. Very interesting. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say about blogs. There's not much more to blogs than that. You have to live it. You have to start your blog and do it, right? And so this is the first exercise that most of you did already. Basically, start your own blog and start blogging. And I started a blog also, and I have to admit I haven't blogged so much, but it's the social web home at blogspot.com. Then the same is for Twitter. So if you haven't started Twitter, maybe you want to get more comfortable with the blogging, and once you're comfortable with the blogging, you can start tweeting. I personally haven't really figured out what to use it for. So we'll see what happens, but we got an account, right? Okay. Podcasts, I listed a couple of podcasts. There's already an article on podcasts. In case you have never listened to podcasts, you may want to do that just to see what is out there, what exists. Very interesting medium. Okay, a couple of references, and that's all I wanted to say about blogs on microblogs. Questions on blogs or microblogs? Okay, then we come to a more interesting topic,